back to Mac School Prep TV. Today we are going to be really analyzing these ideas of introspection and self-reflection, and we're also going to be examining what it means to know ourselves and also why that's even important in the first place. If you don't know, my name is Mackenzie Warren. I'm the founder of Mac School Prep, and video by video I'm going to be utilizing my assets, my strengths, the things that enabled me to make straight A's in high school to serve as both a mentor and a support system for you. Without further ado, I want to encourage you to go ahead and give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and also hit the notification bell so that you can stay in the loop. Okay, let's get it. Be wondering, why does wholeheartedly knowing yourself, knowing your core values, knowing what you stand for, why does that even matter in the first place? And so aside from being used to not allow your haters, the people that are trying to hold you down, not allowing them to discourage you, it's also really important that you know yourself, because that's a prerequisite for being committed to yourself, for demonstrating self-accountability. And I just want to go ahead and pause there and say, yes, I did say self-accountability, and that should be ringing a bell, because that's something I really delved into and talked about in depth in my video, The Man in the Mirror Part 1. So go and check that out if you haven't already. Now, if you're someone like, Mac, Mackenzie, I really do wish I knew myself better, then this is the right video for you, and I need you to continue watching. On the other hand, if you're somebody who's like, Mackenzie, I feel like I have a pretty good handle on who I am, you know, what I stand for, all that good stuff, I still encourage you to go ahead and continue to keep watching this video, because it doesn't matter who you are, we can always do a better job of prioritizing ourselves and putting ourselves higher on our to-do list. Now, I have created a 3-step checklist of sorts that kind of encompasses how to get to know yourself on a deeper, more intimate level. And what I like to call it is the Mastering Me, Myself, and I plan. And I know it sounds pretty cool. I came up with it myself. But anyways, let me just go ahead and jump right in and say that step 1 is assessing your strengths and your weaknesses. And we need to go ahead and clear the air here. Let's get it straight that even the person you consider the strongest, the most intelligent, the most beautiful, even that individual has kryptonite, has a weakness. So that means that you, that means that me, that means that my imaginary friend right here, Shelly, can you see her? Say hi, Shelly. Okay, she's a little bit camera shy, so we won't put her on the spot. But all of us have weaknesses that we need to be familiar with. I want to go ahead and acknowledge that because we are different, because we come from different backgrounds, we have different personalities, we have different approaches, we have different stories. You might be good at something that I'm not, and vice versa. I might be good at something that you're not, and that is okay as long as we are able to acknowledge those things and acknowledge our capabilities and acknowledge those differences. Now I want to switch gears a little bit and say that strengths are the skills, they are the assets that you and me and anybody else needs to tap into in order to allow us to push ourselves to our limit, allow us to maximize our full potential. On the other hand, weaknesses, they are these things that I don't really like to consider downfalls, but rather areas that need work. They are these areas that can be developed and built into strengths if we are willing to put forth the effort, put in the time to improve upon our weaknesses and just to become stronger in those areas. And so basically, we shouldn't be remiss enough to think about our weaknesses as things that we lack or things that we will never ever be good at. You might be still wondering, okay, well, Mackenzie, I'm not getting it yet. Why it's important for us to know our strengths and weaknesses, and not just know our strengths and weaknesses, but know them equally. And so to answer that question, if I did just say that to be the best version of yourself, you have to constantly be leveraging your strengths and improving your weaknesses. And if that is not dang near close to a silver bullet to becoming a you 2.0, then I don't know what to tell you. So now your next question might be, okay, well, I understand why they're important, but how do I get to know my strengths and my weaknesses? Well, it's pretty easy. What I encourage you to do in terms of your strengths is set aside some time for personal reflection in which you basically just think about all the things that are are second nature for you. All the things that come easy without you really even having to try. And that might be, your athleticism, that might be your smarts, that might be, your social skills, whatever that may be, you name it, you just have to think about those things. Now, your weaknesses, on the other hand, I again encourage you to set aside some time for reflection and think about all the things that maybe have presented some type of obstacle for you, maybe have seemed to hold you back in some way or another. And what I encourage you to do for both your strengths and both your weaknesses during this reflection time is just to write all of these things that you end up brainstorming, write all of them down and internalize them. Make them a part of your everyday thought process. Now, before we transition to step 2 of the Mastering Me, Myself, and I plan, I want to acknowledge one more thing about step 1, and that is knowing your personal strengths and your personal weaknesses like the back of your hand. It's basically going to enable you to put yourself into situations, put yourself into settings where you will inevitably thrive, inevitably excel, because you are familiar with the things that you are good at. And it's also going to enable you to constantly be thinking about and finding ways to not allow your weaknesses to stop you or hold you down or keep you from doing whatever it is that you put your mind to. I also want to remind you that it is always more important to approach life and to have this perspective of optimism. It's always better to look at the glass as though it's half full instead of half empty. And how that applies to strengths and weaknesses is that it's so important that you choose to focus and channel the majority of your energy, the majority of your time into your strengths, into the things that you are good at. Now, step 2 of the Mastering Me, Myself, and I plan is assessing your likes and your dislikes. And so just like you and I have strengths and weaknesses that are different, we also are going to have passions that are different. We're also going to have things that really frustrate us. Those are going to be different. And I want you to know that when I'm talking about assessing your likes and your dislikes, we are talking about something that's a lot more intricate, a lot more complex than this simplistic, you like vanilla ice cream and I like chocolate ice cream. It's a lot bigger than that. This is about me and you not being people who like what society considers to be popular or trendy. It's about people like me and you not disliking things that the outside world considers not hip or uncool. It's about us having our own mind and being true to ourselves. When the teacher says, hey, I'm gonna take a poll, never be that kid that raises your hand because you see everybody else in the classroom raising your hand and you don't want to be the only outsider. Never be that kid that just succumbs to the status quo. And my dad always says something that really resonates with me, and that is when you aren't true to you, you're contorting yourself like a pretzel to conform to the needs and the demands of society, and that is miserable for nobody else but you. So you never want to be into this position where you are like a contorted pretzel. You never want to give up or sacrifice a piece of your personality to fit in, because I promise you, the people who have your back and the people who are going to support you until the bitter end are the people who are going to love you and the people who are going to accept you for who you are, just like you should accept you for who you are. And trust me, if you stop to take some time to think about the things that bring a smile to your face, the things that bring you joy, and also the things that, maybe frustrate you or get under your skin, you are going to be so much more happy, so much more confident in every aspect, every facet of your life moving forward, starting today. So with all of that out there, I know you are probably hanging on to my every word, wondering, okay, well, what's next? Mackenzie, tell me. I hate to break it to you, but we're gonna have to put a temporary pin into this topic, but don't worry, I'm not going far. You can catch me in the next video for part 2 of our 2-part series on discovering yourself. And now I encourage you to go ahead and give this video a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and also hit the notification bell so that you can stay in the loop. Okay, see you soon. Bye.